right, ladies and gentlemen, super pumped to be here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is Honest to God, a production of The Quest, Atlanta's Catholic Radio. We got a good crew. Yeah, we got Hannah. You all know Hannah. We got Katie. You all know Katie. We got Rachel, who is an increasingly frequent guest, and it's really cool. So I'm glad you're here. We're about to get started on all things fun facts, followed by all things Friendsgiving, and just sort of community building and sort of social lives for young adults in general. But before we do that, we're going to open in prayer, and because you're a Byzantine Catholic, you have to pray.
You do this to me every time.
Yeah, you guys are better at it. It's a compliment.
What if I do it in Church Slavonic?
I would love for you to do that.
Okay. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Hospari ususi Christi sini vozi permiti mili Krishnu. Amen. And for our non-Eastern Europeans, that's Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on us sinners.
Man, that was really good. I'm going to give you like a 97.
Appreciate it.
Sorry, I'm not doing that anymore. If I were to still do prayer grades, which I don't, I'm not supposed to anymore, I would have given you a 97.
Okay,
but I'm not, so I'm not giving you that. Yeah.
I'll take that.
No. So we're going to go around, we're going to do fun facts here in a second, but I want to say something that's very topical, and because every episode of Honest to God is live, obviously this was a long time ago, right? The elections have passed. We're not going to get into that, although we know the outcome. We have opinions. We're not going to share them. But we are, I do want to talk about the Black Mass. You guys heard about this Black Mass in Atlanta?
I did.
And I actually have a Black Mass hot take that I think is... I don't know if it'll get us in trouble. If we can't put this on the air, then, you know.
We'll edit it out later.
Okay, perfect. I think that there are two ways that would be appropriate, would have been appropriate for us to have dealt with that. Sort of like best ways. And then I feel like the way we did it was fine, but not one of the two most appropriate ways. Okay? So I feel like the two options, right? We found out there's a Black Mass downtown. Option one is handle it the same way that we handled the Pachamama incident when they had the idols in the Vatican, and a bunch of good-looking Austrian guys got on a bus and went to Rome, walked into the Vatican, picked up the Pachamamas, and threw them in the Tiber. I thought that was really cool. I think it would have been really neat if the Georgia Tech Catholic Center had sent over some strapping young men, had walked in there and just said, nope, and taken it away from them, and then left. I think that would have been cool. We have to remember that the Satanic Temple of Atlanta, or whatever they're called, they're not, like, I feel like we give them way too much credit as sort of like big Viking-esque like bad guys when they're just like edgelord like theater kids who weren't good enough to keep doing it in college, and now they just really want attention because their dad never said he was proud of them or something like that. And these are just like losers. They're just losers. They are. And not throwing any shade at actual theater kids, by the way. I was one of those. I'm all about it. I think they're super cool, but not the kind who joined the Satanic Temple of whatever. So that's option one, right? And option two would have been to more or less ignore it. And I want to hear your thoughts on this, right? Because I'm working this out. This isn't like a doctrinal thing or anything. But I feel like we give all this credit and build this place up as these big bad guys, as if Jesus Christ, the second person of the Blessed Trinity, that guy who is actually literally God, like needs us to go do something to protect him. And yes, it's blasphemous. It's awful. Right? They would desecrate a host or something like that. But I feel like we pumped it up as these like big, serious threat to everything, when I feel like, we should have either ignored them or punched them in the face and taken their stuff.
Okay. Are you?
Yeah, you go.
Okay.
You go.
I would say I definitely agree. With this particular one, more on the second thing that you said, I think like it really was like people were getting so up in arms when like in my head I was like, I need people to realize that this stuff actually happens all the time.
Right.
And the only reason that they publicize this is because it's Halloween month, and they've taken a good Catholic holiday and they've turned it into something, and they know that they can get all like the random little goth people who think it's aesthetic to come and go to this thing.
Super edgy.
So I think like we're giving all this power to this 1 month, but I'm telling you, there's no way Black Masses don't happen. Real ones
constantly, that
we know for sure,
right.
They probably actually have a consecrated host. I know they said they didn't actually take one, and that was just like one of their followers trying to like get us up in arms.
Right.
But I wouldn't trust a Satanist.
Yeah. But that's a hot take. But you probably shouldn't trust people who say they worship the devil. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's just one of those things where I think the appropriate response was just do a prayer service. Those people need prayers just like everybody else.
Right.
And I think like us saying we're gonna like giving it all this attention now when it happens all the time and there's people who do horrible things every day, just pray, use it as an opportunity to sit with God.
Building them up as these big scary boogeymen when they're losers. They're
Also, the
pathetic
ones
people.
in Atlanta specifically are the ones who are like, we don't actually celebrate Satan. We just think that he's like a cool representation of individualism, and that's what I celebrate. So I just want to be happy about myself.
Yeah,
and
they're not theistic Satanists.
That's what they say. And so it's like, I don't even want to give you props at that point, because you're not that I would actually want them to be the other way, because that's worse, but like, you're not even hardcore.
No, that's the point I make all the time, though, is, right, our sins are so lame, right? That's a recurring theme on this, right? There are humans right now in our generation, hopefully no one in this room, right, who are going to go to hell for the lamest, most boring sins, right? But we treat those guys like they're getting on Viking ships with dragon heads carved on to go burn down monasteries, when they're nerdy little kids who want attention, and so they're like acting out to get a rise out of people. So anyway, that was a lot about nothing that we're talking about today.
Can I share a Bible verse, John Henry?
Sure, knock yourself out.
Okay, so this is actually, I don't know why I got the wild hair to bring my Bible today to this episode, so,
please do,
so glad that was well received. I don't know why it wouldn't be well received, but so this is actually from the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 43, and I'm going to be reading verses 15 through 17. And I feel it's very prevalent to what the hot take is that we're bringing up right now, so I'll quickly read that. It says, I am the Lord, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King. Thus saith the Lord, who makes a way in the sea, a path in the mighty waters, who brings forth chariot and horse, army and warrior. They lie down, they cannot rise. They are extinguished, quenched like a wick. Remember, not the former things, nor consider the things of old. And I feel like that's kind of I feel it's prevalent to right now, because I feel like God's saying to us through all of this, trickery and what people call mastery of their own, God's basically saying to us, hey, I've got the last laugh. I've got the power.
Right.
And we are going to be the last one standing, not the losers at the Satanic Temple. And I've been taking a lot of hope and a lot of strength in this verse this week, because I will admit I've been very heavily brought down by, the desecration of the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ, and it's
as you should.
It's worn
That's a good
on
thing
me.
To be brought down by. Yeah.
It's worn on me, but I felt led that if anyone has been discouraged by the events of this world, whether or not you agree with the results of this past election, of whatever's happening, in the world, whether you agree with it or not, I just want you all to know God's got this, and we will not let hate or evil or infirmity prevail, and it won't prevail.
Yeah,
so
we already won, which is really cool.
I have 3 points to John Henry, and then we're going to move on. We're here for Friendsgiving.
But I love a rabbit hole, producer.
I know, we do, and this is great, but I have 3 points. One, the event was very real. It was happening in multiple places, not just in Atlanta. It was also happening in France and other places around the world simultaneously. There's a lot of power that could be grabbed from that. 2, the response I thought was great. We had prayer services, we had Eucharistic processions, and 3, here's where I find it irony. Demons, of course, are fallen angels, so they were angels. They have great intelligence, and some of the lowest people of society are lawyers, but it was actually lawyers who stopped the consecrated host from being used in the Black Mass.
I did really like Hartmeyer's letter where he said, actually they said, it's not really consecrated, we didn't really do anything, and please stop being mean to us.
Yeah, no, there was some lawyers that were involved.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay, wait, I know you said we're going to move on, but I do want to say,
never mind, this is not a Black Mass episode, we're going to talk about why it's bad the whole time. Go ahead.
I challenge anyone, because in case, this gets spread because we're talking about it and all that, and someone from that who went there or someone who's a participant there sees this episode, please comment below, and I'd love to have an open conversation.
I will have you on the show.
Yeah, it's
Can I do that? Yeah.
I know we're speaking negatively, but straight up, I'm not scared to have a conversation, and I think Jesus is for everybody, and no one's past the point of saving. So
I, for one, believe the gospel.
Yeah. I, for one, really appreciated. I had one of my high school students went on the Satanic Temple's website, right? And they looked at it and they took all these screenshots and they showed them to me on the phone. And the whole website is all just pro-abortion stuff and transing children stuff and all of these things. And I really appreciate the whole sunlight is the best disinfectant thing. Like, thanks for being so upfront about this and saying, hey, here's really satanic stuff. Like, thanks, that's good PR.
Yeah.
Way to at least be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
To piggyback on Anna Grace's point, if you have been to the Satanic Temple's Black Mass and are interested, we offer a Friendsgiving, which is what this episode is about. So we would like to extend the invite to you to next year's Friendsgiving, and we will have this conversation right here at this table. So please reach out and we'll get you scheduled.
If you know somebody.
If you know
get them in touch with us.
Yeah, please get them in touch with us. And
totally
while you're listening, if you can, do us a favor and like, subscribe, and comment down below. Especially comment. It really helps us to proclaim the word of God. If you're listening on the radio, pull your car over because we do not endorse
Slam it in park.
using
Right
electronics while you're driving.
And then smash like.
Park.
Yeah. But we want to get into the Friendsgiving episode.
Yes, absolutely. Good segue. 30 seconds. We're going to do fun facts really fast because I am a sucker for routine. Rachel, what's your fun fact? Go.
My fun fact is I didn't know I was doing this episode until about 2 minutes before we
That
got
counts.
here.
Awesome. What about you, Gary?
Well, my fun fact is that since I haven't been on the show in about 4 or 5 months, and shame on me for being such a stranger, but I, in that time, have gotten a new certification, and I am a certified PCA, which is personal care assistant, which is basically a step below CNA, which is obviously certified nursing assistant. I'm working on getting my CNA very soon, but I'm excited to venture into the world of healthcare.
Cool.
So appreciate your prayers as I go through this.
We need good Catholics in healthcare.
Amen.
We absolutely do. All right, what about you, Hannah Grace? What you got?
I briefly got to meet, and I still count it as meet, even though we barely said much words between us, but Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh, no way.
And that was really cool.
Where'd you meet him?
I went to the Georgia State Turning Point USA thing that they put on.
And Vivek was there.
Yeah,
He's a friend
I
of the
almost
show.
got my hat signed, but I did not have a pen, so I'll never forget that.
Yeah, we had Vivek on not too long ago, but we corrupted all the footage and we lost it.
Oh,
So.
I hate when that happens.
Sorry. Yeah. It's all right. We'll have Vivek on again. Next time you see him, try to get him on.
Yeah, we'll do.
Tell him we
We'll
said,
do.
hey, we're here to honest to God. That's not slander, right? We can't get sued for that.
I hope not.
All right, we'll find out.
Canceled.
All right, so let's dig into the actual topic of today's episode. And today's episode is fun because what we're doing is we're talking right now for sort of half the episode. Then during commercial break, we're all going to run over there and have an incredibly fast Friendsgiving. And 3.5 minutes later, we're going to be back here to do the second half. Because every episode of Honest to God is filmed live. And so we're going to kind of talk about it now. Then we're going to go. I'm not sure what we're doing. Once again, I just pretty much do everything that Janice tells me to do, and it usually turns out to be a good decision. Every time so far, actually. So I'm not sure what all that entails over there, but I'm sure it's going to be a blast. But I want to talk not necessarily about Friendsgiving in particular, but friendships with young adults in general. And this is me totally pulling numbers, out of wherever, but I heard on some podcast not too long ago that there's like a loneliness epidemic amongst young people, sort of post-college young men and women in the world today. And so, I don't know, I just want to dig into it. I want to listen to your thought, like, why? Why do you think that's true? How do we remedy that? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I can actually share something, John Henry. So the one thing that I think is very difficult for kids to accept is probably the transition from life teen to young adult.
Sure.
Because I had the privilege of working with some fabulous life teeners one summer for a week at church camp at Cove Crest.
Oh, awesome.
And
Big shout out to Cove Crest.
That was so wonderful and such a wonderful experience to have. But I remember seeing a little bit of disappointment to know that era of their life was ending.
Oh, it's the last, yeah.
That, oh my gosh, like, I'm an adult now, like, what the heck am I going to do? I don't have youth group to go to anymore, and that's why I'm such an advocate for young adult ministries, 18 to maybe mid-30s, and get connected with people that are like-minded like you, and worship the same God, and believe in the same Catholic Church. And, it's important to keep that community going. Otherwise, faith burns out, unfortunately, very fast.
But what are y'all's thoughts about why there's a quote-unquote loneliness epidemic? Any ideas?
I would say that a lot of it has to do, like, I know this is like, oh my gosh, like, how many times are we going to say this? But social media, I think, really dampened everyone's, like, desire to be around each other. But it didn't actually dampen that desire. But it made them think that they didn't need to be around people because they can get that entertainment from their phones and just from posting and keeping up that way. But our souls and our hearts long for actual, like, physical conversations with people. Everything good? Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's been lost a little. And then this is going to be a little bit, seem a little left field, but I think we stopped cooking for each other.
Oh.
And so I'm tying
Okay.
this to Thanksgiving. But nothing have I noticed more in college students but, like, the desire for a home-cooked meal.
Right.
You send these kids away from their families, and now people aren't passing down learning how to cook.
Right.
I know a lot of people who don't know how to do anything besides, fry an egg and make toast. And I have so many friends who are like, oh, I'd love to come over and have your casserole or your pierogies or this or that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. And they're so thankful and, like, have so much gratitude in just being offered a warm meal. And I wish, like, we would pride ourselves in our cooking more because that's such a way to show love to people.
No,
That's a little random.
No,
but
it's not random, actually. I think it's super on point with the whole conversation today, right? The whole idea of breaking bread together is something. I think the decline of sort of communal meals, actually, it's a really good indicator of the decline of, like, maybe this sounds too extreme, but I don't think that's social cohesion and community in general. Whoa, that's huge.
Yeah, to go off of kind of the social media that Hannah Grace brought up, which is so fruitful, I think the biggest problem that I see is also in dating. So we also have online dating, we have dating apps, and that can be, no shade on that, because that can be super fruitful, and that can bring a lot of very fruitful Catholic relationships that can lead to Catholic marriage, that can lead to more fruit in the kingdom of God, and more souls won, and yada yada. But I can also see online dating to be incredible disservice to Catholic dating and to just dating life in general, because you don't know the person you're talking to through a screen. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And you don't really know them until you get to know them, you get to talking to them, you get to actually, like you said, dating for them, having a meal, breaking bread, and trying to create conversation in person. And I think that's a big I guess, just a big factor in how we, that might contribute to the loneliness and probably contribute to a lot of other problems in our, in the young adult world today.
What were you going to say?
What I was going to say is I think with dating apps and, like, with just friendships in general, the problem isn't, like, the start of the dating app. Like, it's just that's a way to meet people. You see them, if... Like, in real life, if you were walking past someone, how it used to be, if you found them attractive, you went up to them and you asked them out, similar to how, like a dating app would work. The problem is when you carry on the idea of the dating app into the relationship. Mm-hmm. So you treat it like a situation where you can just text whenever you want, whenever it's active, whenever your profile is active.
And then you
can just swipe when you need to. Like, if you carry that on to the actual relationship, similar with friends, like, if you treat them like somebody's, like, a profile where you can go whenever you want, you can see the things you like, but then all the things that they're not willing to post, you're not going to be there for. Like, that's where I think it becomes more problematic.
Well, and once again, with a Friendsgiving episode with friends too, in particular, right? You said it's not just our romantic relationships, but it's those friendships. You're in contact with all these hundreds, thousands of people online, but not actually face to face. And I do think there is something about us as corporeal beings, right, as physical beings, that longs for physical, right, connection, face to face conversations, and breaking bread, etc. is obviously a big part of that. Have y'all ever done sort of a Friendsgiving before in the past? You have? Everybody has? Cool.
Yeah.
I did one a long time ago with a bunch of Southern Catholic people back when you weren't around.
Southern Catholic people.
I was off into the military, but military offers a lot of Friendsgiving type of stuff too. Yeah, it's great.
Especially
but I do have
too.
Deployments are amazing. But I want to throw up a little bit of a layup to my wife, because when I went back to grad school, we were actually living apart, and I would have to go back and forth on weekends, and it was tough. And one of the things that I did for connection was I went to daily mass and made some friends that way and got invited to these meals that people would have after mass, and it was a community of like 15, 20 people that were all Catholic, and they would come together and just hang out and maybe have wine, maybe not, and everybody brought either a side or a main dish.
Right.
And when Rachel and I when we brought Rachel to Athens so that we could all be together, I brought her to one of those community meals, and I wanted to know kind of her firsthand experience with that, coming into that, what that was like for you. I know, I just completely threw that to you without even expecting. But we're talking about community meals.
Well, I have to think back to what it was like at the beginning, because right now all I can think about was towards the end when I had been many times.
Yeah, and for clarification, you knew nobody.
Yeah.
And I just said, hey,
well, I think I knew some people.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a little challenging because the question was like young adults, and I guess at that point I didn't really feel like a young adult, and most of those people weren't.
We've talked about this, Rachel. Young adult, the bar is 1 year above however old Bruce
Okay, then I
Giuliani
guess it still
forever.
fits. But, I mean, that was really nice. Because the majority of those people were either in school or they had gone to school and then got a job. So the majority of them didn't have family nearby. So it really was just kind of like their own little family that they formed. It was really cute. A lot of them were single or in a relationship. Like, I feel like we were only like one of like 2 or 3 people that had kids, but what was great is they all love kids, so it was an opportunity for me to kind of chill a little bit and drink some wine and eat and know that there's a whole bunch of other people who could just play with my kids or entertain my kids. So that part was really nice. And then when I was pregnant with Jonah and I would go, then everybody took really good care of me, and they were like, oh, the pregnant lady gets to get food first. So I was like, okay, so I would just sit there and eat. And
I thought about this when you said, you went, there wasn't anybody, really that many people there that you knew. I'm 35 years old and I have no idea how to make friends. Like, I don't make friends anymore.
Either.
Yeah, I don't make any friends. I have like 7 people that I ever see on a regular basis for social purposes, right? And that's more or less the end of that. 7 people and their wives, and that's the end of the list. Not implying that their wives aren't people. I meant guy friends. Well, somebody could clip that. It could be, no, that's not what I mean. I have to clarify.
Wives aren't people.
Nope, that's not what I said. But yeah, and I think often about if I were going through sort of a conversion now, right, and how I would have no idea how to do that. I don't know, like, yeah.
This is hard because it's more towards like Catholic people. So like I don't. Well, anyone can come to a liturgy, but I would say one thing that's really good about that. So like I'm going to shout out Epiphany 1,000 times over, but Epiphany Byzantine Catholic Church in Roswell, which is where I grew up and my dad grew up. After every liturgy, everyone brings food, and we sit there, and no one leaves for normally like an hour.
That's awesome.
Like when we all just talk, we have coffee, the kids are running around, everyone just kind of feels safe with each other. And I think like I challenge like more churches or like even young adults, like if you want to find a way to get other young adults and friends, offer free food after liturgy. Because people normally aren't doing stuff Sunday, and it's just like, it's people with normally most like-minded intentions all coming together, and just as we said before, breaking bread. And I think like that's one of the things that keeps our Epiphany parish community so like home-like, and I think that would be really good. We've started having a lot of young people come, and I think it's because they feel like that community and that presence.
Yeah, I also feel like what Epiphany did really well and what the Byzantine churches have done really, really well was during the whole COVID everything, y'all held the line in a really beautiful way about, no, this is what's actually important, right? The sacraments are actually more important than me hiding in my house or whatever. And big shout out to Father Lewis and everybody over there.
He's a goat.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. But I'll go a step further. I think it's almost, we go to Our Lady of the Mountains up in Jasper.
Yes.
And they've recently started every single Mass afterwards, they have donuts and coffee, right? Bare minimum stuff. There's usually a casserole or two, and it's fun. And 9 times out of 10, we wander down there with our kids because the kids want to eat donuts. And usually I just want to go home. But then I end up having conversations with people, and all of a sudden I'm there for 45 minutes, and I leave, and I'm like, I'm really glad that I did that, right? And I think that's beautiful. I think churches that don't have even the bare minimum of picking up a couple boxes of donuts, right, to put it in the basement, I think they're doing their congregation a big disservice. So please, pastors out there, feed the congregation afterwards so they can hang out and build relationships that are actually involve some depth, and we're all just in the same room together. Yeah, we're worshiping together. That's great. Anyway, now I got to go because the game's about to come on or whatever, right? Feed 50 years ago, the root of your community was your parish life, and it should still be that way.
To second that, John Henry, I have, for the sake of live radio and the internet, I'm not going to say, I'm going to say the censored version of this saying that a good friend of mine likes to say.
Awesome.
And she says, it seems like in Novus Ordo parishes today, as soon as that priest walks out of the sanctuary, it is tails and elbows to get out of the parking lot.
Sure.
And that could not be more true, and it could not be more depressing.
Sure.
Because, we're supposed to be cherishing this time with God, and this time to be in the presence of God Himself, and to be receiving God Himself in the sacrament of the Eucharist, and instead, we are racing to get to O'Charlie's to get a table.
Right.
But I totally love, and what Hannah Grace said about, her parish saving time to have a meal together. And it's what aided in my conversion as well, because I'll never forget my first Sunday Mass at St. Luke the Evangelist right here in Dahlonega. And I was the same way, knew nobody, and kind of just sat down at a random table. And I remember the first thing that was said to me was, you are the best part of our day. You know why? Because you're a visitor.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that just transformed my heart in that moment. Like, that gave me so much hope that there are believers that, love new faces and that don't see you as, taking up space, or, oh gosh, I gotta shake this person's hands and make them feel welcome and paint a smile on my face. No, we want you here. We need you here. God wants you here. And God is glad you're here.
I love it.
God is glad you're here. If you go to one of those parishes like John Henry and I do, tap your friend and say, hope to see you at Coffee and Donuts or whatever's going on.
Yeah,
like
encourage
I do John
him.
Henry every day.
We're going to break here in about 30 seconds, and we're going to go eat. But I do want sort of in closing, right? Invite people to do those things. If those things don't exist, please, for the sake of the church, right? Start them, right? Even invite people over. Invite the young married couple over if you've been married for a while and have kids. If you're in college, invite good humans over to eat and make a meal together. I can't recommend it more. We're going to go eat together now, play some games, do some fun stuff, and then we'll be right back after the break, and we'll pick up there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is Honest to God, a production of The Quest at Atlanta's Catholic Radio. Oops, I did it again. Played with your heart, got lost in the game. Oh, baby.
We're actually live, John.
Oh, wait, okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I'm very comfortable.
We ate a lot in 3.5 minutes. It was rough, but here we are back.
I would love
But at
to
least
one
we
day
got to
finally get a
run back.
copyright violation. Yeah, that was a big... We actually lost a few good men over there. You see, we've replaced our last two of our people with new ones after that 3.5 minute just gluttonous, awful turkey fest.
It was a massacre.
It was a massacre.
But it was a feast in light of Thanksgiving, and that's why we're here. Yeah.
Should I explain the word thing, or is that kind of weird?
We can give you a grace for the word thing. That's fine.
No, I've lost all mine.
Oh,
It's
you've
fine.
lost-
I'm invincible. I can say all the words. Yeah. So as part of our 3-minute festival of feasting that we just had, there were a number of games. We're actually going to get into some of them here for the sake of anybody who's doing their own Friendsgiving. And am I looking at this camera? Is this camera looking at me? Is this the camera?
That is the camera
Okay.
you're looking at. But when we look that way,
Yeah, well,
we're
I'm
having a conversation.
I feel like I'm looking at you. But anyway, we were playing a game where everybody has the clothespins on. You see something, yeah. And if you say the word friend or the word turkey, you'll lose a clothespin. Whoever has the most at the end of the night wins. And there's about, a dozen or 2 dozen other people in the building to our right outside of the Ark that are playing the same game. So it's gotten kind of competitive. I've lost all mine. I'm invincible now.
I don't know. I think she's doing pretty good in the clips
I mean,
part of it. She's
I
got
only
4
have
or
4,
whatever.
but it's getting a little heavy over here.
Do you just have one, Rachel?
I lost one of mine, yes.
And you've got 2 still.
I got 2. I had 3, but I got one taken away in a very heinous and betrayed way by my brother.
Oh, that's rough. And then producer Julian's rocking 3 of them.
I have 3.
He's a good friend of mine.
But not 4.
But not 4.
Not 4. Should have been. Actually, it should have been 5 based on what I pulled. But
That was really good, actually.
Correct. Thank you.
All right, so I want to pick up more or less where we left off, right? We were talking about Friendsgiving. We were talking about sort of the loneliness epidemic that we're seeing, especially amongst young people in the Western world right now, which is a recurring theme on the episode. But I want to talk more about Friendsgiving in particular, this segment, and maybe play a bunch of the dumb, hokey games that are really fun, right? Because once again, another recurring theme. Hokey, campy, cheesy, corny, usually just mean really fun and wholesome and good, and you should probably do those things. So let's do that. First of all, just overall thoughts from anybody. Oh no, Jake's new.
And well, Jake's new and Leah's
back.
new for the episode.
Yeah. All right, so Jake, you owe us how many fun facts we're doing now? Three fun facts. First time on the show.
In light of the episode of Amigos Giving.
Do I have like a spectrum of what kind
things
of facts?
that are fun? They don't even have to be about you.
Yeah.
They don't even have
I gave a fun fact one time talking about kangaroos
You don't
and
want giraffe
how their
facts?
young are. They actually make their they can slow down their gestational period as a kangaroo. The kangaroo
Can you
moms.
do that, Jake?
No, I cannot slow down my gestational period.
All right, well, you already got one fun
There's
fact
one
in, so give us two more.
Let's see. Another fun fact I know. I'm replaying all the animal shows I used to watch as a kid.
Yeah, dude.
In my
Big
head.
shout out to Zoo Books.
Yes.
Dude, they were
I
awesome.
know that zebras are not, in fact, black with white stripes. They are white with black stripes. I know for a fact that there are exactly 99 little chinks on the side of a $quarter. There are exactly 99 of every single one.
Did you count them?
I did not, but I read it in a United States history book.
Everything ever taught as United States history is true. So
100%.
that's great. Cool. All right, I like that. That counts. Those are two. We know nothing more about you, but that's okay.
Oh, I thought I gave 3, but my
Because he said you
gestation
can't
thing.
slow down his gestation.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, that's what I mean.
gestational
You're
period.
done. You're at 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fun.
you're golden.
Awesome.
All right, Leah, what you guys? It's been a while. I probably ought to make you do 2, but just so we can get started. We don't have to. It's fun.
Okay. Can I get political? No.
Oh, yeah. Get political. Say something controversial.
I went to my first political rally the other day. I went to a Trump rally. And,
I've never been to a political rally at
I was a
all.
former Democrat, so it was crazy. I had a fun time.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
It was actually, I expected it to be I think there was 10,000 people in the venue, and then they said by the time they stopped letting people in, there was as much people outside as there was inside.
Was this the women's only one that was over?
No, this one was
13?
at Gas South.
Okay,
This
cool.
was last Wednesday.
Did you see him?
Was that the one near Duluth? Or
Yeah, I
something?
think it's in Duluth. Yeah,
Okay.
somewhere around that. But yeah, there's a bunch of people, and everything went so smoothly. I was kind of anxious about being around that many people, but it was so smooth. Everybody acted like they knew each other. It was pretty cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
All right. That's fantastic. I like that. Yeah, we're allowed to get political here, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into Friendsgiving stuff. You already gave us fun fact, Rachel. Unless you have anything else to say. Recap of what was a really fun, just to explain real fast, and I didn't know what it was before the last segment ended, right? And I went over there. Janice, who works over here at the Quest, hosted a big Friendsgiving dinner. She invited a couple dozen people over. A lot of people, it was weird. It was like seeing your teacher outside of school. A lot of people I knew from one place, and now I'm seeing them at Janice's house, and that's just weird, right? But they prepared a really big meal. They had a bunch of hokey, fun, campy games, and it was good. It was a lot of conversation. And I'm a secret, Julie knows this, I'm a secret introvert. So I spent a good bit of that time standing outside staring at trees.
Same here, brother.
Yeah, heck yeah. And we fake it. You can fake it, yeah.
The trees are so pretty right now.
They're
though.
beautiful, yeah. But anyway, just takeaways, big picture thoughts about anything, and then I want to get into some brass tacks and games and stuff.
Food was really good.
Food was excellent.
The ham was the honey glazed ham was pristine on the sides. The skin was nice and brittle.
How many ridges were in it?
Ridges
Yeah.
Probably 99. If I had to
99?
guess. 99?
on the side of a $quarter. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But
Not the
on-
ham.
yeah.
Okay.
Not the ham.
Pretty
Indeterminate.
comparable, I would say. How'd you feel about the mac and cheese?
Mac and cheese was,
Did you make it? So I was really saying to Rachel, mac and cheese was like my favorite part.
the mac and cheese was amazing.
That was an interesting
I just want to say that it was really creamy, and I really like that about a lot of foods.
Yeah.
In fact, there's there's a food that I know that's with potatoes where it's like mac and cheese, but instead of the noodles, it's actually sliced potatoes. And it's baked in kind of like a, what's it called, where you have the cream and then the caramel on top.
Yeah, my Aunt Mary makes that for every Thanksgiving. It's fantastic.
Yeah. What's it called?
I have no idea.
Au gratin?
A flame de creme or something.
Au gratin has the cheese, right? Maybe
Yeah,
not.
but so
I don't
does
know.
mac and cheese. I don't know. I just know it's fantastic. It's like little potato chips that aren't hard. They're just little floppy potatoes, and then it's fantastic.
And oh my goodness, it's amazing.
I like the cranberry sauce, and I'm actually really big one way or the
Cranberry
other
sauce is
on
really good.
cranberry sauce. It's all either good or bad, right? There's no like that was fine cranberry sauce. It was very good cranberry sauce.
Can I give a big opinion?
Sure.
I think that potatoes are probably the greatest food of all time. Anything,
Yeah, okay.
anything that's good is made from potatoes.
Okay.
I mean, besides obviously like some meats,
Sure.
but there's like so many meats. There's only like 2 kinds of potatoes.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I think I'm there for that. That was one of the questions that was asked in one of the Would You Rather games. Was would you rather eat turkey every day of your life or have or never eat potatoes again? And I said I don't really want to eat turkey every day of my life, but I definitely would.
You'd have to
If it
put
meant I
me
couldn't eat
out of my
potatoes.
misery if there was a world without potatoes. I'm sorry.
No, I'm a huge potato fan. We grow a bunch of potatoes. We grow hundreds of pounds of potatoes every year.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You live on a farm?
Yeah, a hobby farm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's small. We got about 15 acres in Pickens County.
I'm going to give a plug for Jacob here or anybody that's listening.
Is there a
If you
potato
were-
channel on YouTube?
Well, no, it's not a potato channel. No, that'd be cool. But
Don't search.
If
Finish
you're
this episode.
ever in Biloxi, Mississippi, or Gulfport, Mississippi, there is a donut shop that serves potato donuts, and they are the best donuts I've ever had
And they're
in
called-
my life.
I thought that was something that would be in Idaho or something.
They probably do have those in Idaho, but I have them down in Gulfport, Mississippi. There is a donut shop. And we'll put it in the show notes because I don't have it off the top of my head right now. But
Yeah, man, I don't remember what it was called either, but those donuts were really good.
And let's just talk more about
It
potatoes.
was at Ocean
This is great.
Springs, though. Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
oh, thank you for the correction from my wonderful wife over here. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and you can make vodka out of them, which is neat.
You absolutely.
That's a
I
cool
learned,
thing.
That's
I learned
why.
that in a war movie. It was The Great Escape. I learned that
Yeah.
from The Great Escape, where the soldiers like naked vodka from all these potatoes that they're
I still
they're
don't
selling to
understand
the guards.
how it seems like black magic to me that you can make vodka out of potatoes, but it's cool.
I actually studied the science.
Okay, great.
So you know that potatoes have a lot of starch in them, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Compress them, the starch and the liquids from the potato come out.
Mm-hmm.
You just all you need to do is just ferment them in a secluded jar,
Right.
and then it just becomes vodka. Because a lot of things could be fermented, strawberries, any kind of berry, really.
Sure.
And
I make mead with fermented honey.
really,
Yeah.
mead, just like
Yeah.
that's just beer, right? I don't know the difference.
Yeah, but it's more like a wine consistency. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get it kind of bubbly, but not like beer bubbly.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that I can just take a potato, smash it down, and shove it in a jar with some yeast or something and some water, and it's going to become vodka?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you earmark this episode in case Prohibition comes back around. And
Genius.
My
then,
ancestors were moonshiners,
Yeah,
so like
that's
I know
great.
a lot about this stuff.
that's beautiful. I like that. Stick it to the man. Those temperance laws were mostly anti-Catholic laws anyway. I mean, that was a big part of it. Was all these Irish and immigrants coming over with their drinking and everything, and so that was
Whatever with their drinking.
yeah.
I remember the name of the donut place now.
Oh, what
though.
is it?
It's Tato Donut.
Tato.
Tato.
Well, that makes sense because it's like potato.
Oh, that's a good
See,
one.
I'm picking up what they're putting down. That's cool. Hard-hitting stuff like this is why people listen to Honest to God.
Exactly.
A production of Quest Atlanta's Catholic Radio. All right, so let's dig into. Do you want to play some of these games? Well, first, can you talk about what's on the table right there?
It's a really big sweet potato that this man originally had one, but he had the generosity to give it to me because I have an idea of what I'm going to make out of this.
I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm.
You've got. Will you let us know when you make it?
I will. I will let you know what I'm going to make. It's going to be a kind of like what we talked about with the little chips and the cheese, the macaroni looking thing, but it's going to have cream cheese.
Okay.
That way, it's like a little sweeter, you know.
Sure.
Goat cheese, and I'm probably gonna add maybe a little bit of chives.
Okay.
You know the regular stuff that you
Sure,
put on like
sure.
a baked potato or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna make. I don't know what it's called. I just have an idea of what I'm gonna make. I like to cook a lot.
I can't wait.
Are you
to
gonna
see
make
the
it for
picture.
Thanksgiving or before
Sure,
Thanksgiving?
I'll make it for Thanksgiving. I forgot that it's not Thanksgiving yet.
Thanksgiving's like, well, I guess Thanksgiving's like really close.
Thanksgiving is an indeterminable amount
I'll
of
send a
time away.
picture. I'll send a picture.
Saturday.
Saturday.
We are the
This
Saturday.
coming Saturday. It's the first one on a Saturday ever.
We are the Saturday before Thanksgiving right now.
Oh, so I guess Thanksgiving is right around the corner.
I exclaimed the day, but yes. So Jacob is actually required to make that for next year's Amigos Giving. So he didn't realize that when he accepted the
I'm
gift.
required to keep this potato right
Just
here
put it in the
for a
freezer.
whole year.
Use it as a doorstop or something. It looks like a pretty solid potato.
Yeah.
I used big onions as a doorstop for a while because we didn't have.
Yeah.
My mom has a friend who has a big garden, and she had a big harvest of onions in her backyard. So she gave a lot of the big onions to us, and we didn't know what to do with the onions, so we just kept them in a big box,
Right.
and it was a doorstop for our kitchen door for like 6 months.
Did you slowly eat through the onions though, as it was a doorstop?
We slowly ate through the onions. They end up becoming omelets or something
Yeah.
delicious.
Onions is another versatile, not as versatile as potato. I think you only need. Once again, this entire episode of Honest Guys is just about potatoes. I think that can't you live solely on potatoes as long as you eat skin? Eat the skin. I'm almost positive.
I'm not sure about that.
We're gonna
Maybe we
fact
can
check
test
that.
it out.
We'll get back to you
Yeah,
on
we
that
can
before the
look
end of the
it up.
episode.
The
We're gonna
thing
fact
is, this
check
is
that.
on media now, so you're gonna have to get fact checked.
Yeah, no,
Or you're
absolutely.
gonna get canceled.
Or
You don't wanna
canceled,
get
depending on
canceled
the
depending
rate.
on
Yeah,
what
we don't want to say something
Yeah.
controversial here on Honest to God, a production of the Quest Landscape Radio. All right, so let's. Y'all want to play some of the dumb
Yeah.
games?
Yeah.
When I say dumb, once again, I always feel like I have to qualify that. I don't mean like stupid and we shouldn't be doing them. I mean dumb in like a beautiful, good way. All right, so let's see. Well, I don't feel like I can hang that from the Eucharist, or not from the Eucharist, from the crucifix.
I can keep it up here with me.
Could you just awkwardly hold that the entire time?
Yeah.
That'd be great. All right, so games we
always
already
gonna be
played were guess the weight of the enormous sweet potato. So,
It was 2.2 pounds, by the way.
well, I was going to invite the guests at home to do their own guess.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
They can put it in
about
the comments.
It is too,
If you don't believe that it's 2.2,
that. You don't believe it.
drop a comment.
that would have been fun. We could have sent a prize to anybody who got it correct.
Yeah.
Just send them the potato.
And then we guessed how many things are in how many
You could just
cans in
cut
the
it out,
jar.
yeah.
We could just edit it
Yeah.
out and then do that. All right, but then I want to do some of the random ones. Can we do? Rachel, do you want to pick?
Can you read
Oh,
it?
and then
one would
dice.
we
I have
do?
dice in my pocket.
Would you rather? That would be the good one.
Yeah, we should do some would you rather's, and we should play the dice game too.
Yeah.
I'm
At
down
least
for
one round.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm down for whatever.
All right, let's start off with a couple of would you rather's. Most of these. Oh, okay. This one I have a really serious opinion on, and we're gonna go around the table. You have to defend your answer. Starting with Rachel. Would you rather put up your Christmas tree the day after Thanksgiving, or have a holiday like a Christmas movie marathon the day after Thanksgiving? Both of them make you a bad person, for the record.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a
No.
bad person.
Okay,
You should. That's too early.
I generally put up my Christmas decorations the weekend after Thanksgiving.
So you're telling me Thanksgiving's on a Thursday, that Saturday and Sunday you put on Christmas decorations?
Usually, if I can help it, but in my defense, it's because of my childhood trauma.
I feel like this guy has a lot to say
Real.
here.
He does. Ignore him. So when I was growing up, my parents refused to put up any Christmas decorations until Christmas Eve.
Oh, because
And
the whole Advent thing?
Well, they never really explained. They just said we put up
We
Christmas
don't like
decorations on Christmas Eve. So I remember very vividly as like a 8, 9, 10-year-old
Mm-hmm.
getting angry and frustrated with my parents and being like, when I'm a grown up, I will put up my Christmas decorations
In
whenever
August.
I want. And my parents were like, go ahead and do that. And so I definitely kept my word, and I generally try to put up my Christmas decorations the weekend after Thanksgiving. And I didn't realize until maybe the past few years that that's a controversial thing.
I mean, so I've been on record saying this before, so I don't want to backpedal. I don't want to be accused of being a flip-flopper here, all right? Historically, on air, I've said before, the earliest acceptable time to put, and everybody
First Sunday of Advent?
Is this
everyone
in your
agrees this.
opinion, or-
No, everyone believes this. This is the doctrine of the church. The earliest acceptable time that you can put up any Christmas decorations is after Thanksgiving. I have said that.
Okay.
I have said that. Yeah. I would argue, though, unless the first weekend after Thanksgiving is in December, you should wait until it's at least December 1st.
I think this year it is.
I do have a
Thanksgiving
question.
is late this year.
Sorry. I do have a question about Christmas decorations. does the manger scene count as a Christmas decoration, or could it just be a religious?
Without
As long as Jesus isn't there.
Baby
Yep.
Jesus
As long
doesn't
as
go
Jesus-
until Christmas morning.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously. But you can do your wise men and have them slowly move across the room. That's what we do.
that's
That was
cute.
Angie's idea. My
That
wife
sounds
said
like Dungeons and Dragons role playing.
yeah, and then there's all these, like, my kids getting like serious real life arguments about like how far they're allowed to move every day. It's like, no, they move too far. They
They
can't
just need to
move.
study the
good argument.
cartography of Jerusalem at the time.
Yeah, clearly they wouldn't have made it there. That's the equivalent of 50 miles. Think of where they're coming from. Like, really, this is like a discussion in our household. And we hide the baby Jesus until Christmas Day, and then he gets placed in.
Yeah, that's what we do too. Christmas morning, we put baby Jesus in the manger.
All right, but we're not talking about Christmas anymore. We're talking about Thanksgiving. Would you rather put up your Christmas decorations
Christmas
the day
decorations.
after?
What was the other option?
Holiday Christmas movie marathon.
Oh, I mean, we watch Christmas music, but we don't do marathons. So yeah, Christmas decorations.
I did a Christmas movie marathon about 12 years ago. Angie and I did, and it was great. And we started at like 10 a.m. And it went all the way into, I think Die Hard started playing at like
Oh, Die Hard, really?
10.
Every
That
man
isn't-
counts it
that-
as a Christmas
that was
movie.
like the pinnacle.
But you
Yeah.
can't watch it with your kids.
It doesn't mean you can't.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I don't recommend Die Hard with your young
I like
children.
the cute, I like
Hallmark?
Rudolph.
Oh.
Man, I'm not a Hallmark girl. I like
Home Alone.
Rudolph. Yeah, Home Alone. Home Alone's a fan favorite. Jingle All the Way.
Oh, Jingle All the Way is great. That's the Arnold
Elf.
Schwarzenegger one with the...
Yeah,
yeah, I
that,
love that
that
one.
was one of my favorites as
Yeah.
a kid. It's still one of
It's a
my
Wonderful
favorites.
Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. I watch every Christmas
I've
Eve.
never seen that one.
Okay, so
What?
it's good, but it's good for
I know what
nostalgia
it's
reasons.
like.
It's not actually that
the,
great.
I've seen like the
What?
cartoon adaptations, but
I'm gonna watch it like 8 times this year, but it's not. It's objectively not that great. It's just I've got all this nostalgia now, and like, oh, I remember watching this when I was a kid or with my kid. Like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
John Henry.
It's no Die Hard. Anyway, what about you?
I would have to agree with Rachel. I think that like setting up the decorations the day after Thanksgiving, I would say that's the standard. I'd have to disagree with you, John Henry. I wouldn't say that most people would be against that. That's like the standard.
Okay, first
It's
of
like
all,
your family's
I
still
didn't
in
say most
town.
people. I said everyone agrees.
Your family's still in town, so everybody's there to do it. You're like welcoming. You're finishing the last season and welcoming the new one. But there was one year my grandma didn't feel like taking her tree down. So she just kept decorating it for different holidays.
That's hilarious.
I think she
actually.
got all the way
Awesome.
to the 4th of July.
That's
so we had
kinda
the
funny.
Easter tree, Valentine's, everything.
Was it a
was
fake
awesome.
tree?
Yeah, it was a fake tree.
Okay, see, there's so much disorder in everything you just said, right? The fake tree, the early decorating.
And by the way,
I
no family member is gonna stay to help you put up Christmas decorations.
never
I'm
had it in my
sorry.
life.
What?
Never had it in my life.
I'm
I
sorry.
absolutely
I
would. I
always-
love
yeah.
Christmas decorations.
We don't really do much decorating, actually. Like, we do a tree, we do wreaths.
Can I give my
That's-
answer now?
well, yes, Jake.
I'm gonna agree with John Henry on
Thank you,
this.
Jake. I like Jake. We're gonna have Jake on more.
So
I'm like
I
Donald
think,
Trump. If you just agree with me on stuff, it makes me like you.
I think that I would rather do the movie marathon just because of the fact that I could put up Christmas decorations. Me and my family could put up Christmas decorations in like a day.
Yeah.
And the movie marathon, me and my family, like, we don't like sit and watch 24 hours by 24 hours movies.
Right.
We do like one every night leading up to
Oh, I
Christmas,
like
right?
that, yeah.
And you know, since there's a lot of Christmas movies out there that we like to watch as a family, I feel like it would just take longer to do the Christmas marathon, movie marathon. So I think we'd do that first and then put up decorations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But how
I'm
would you
picking
even
up what
feel
you're doing.
right? You haven't even you haven't even put the decorations
Yeah,
out
you
yet.
have to
So
set
you're
the
just
mood
watching it in
first.
an empty room. Like you got to put
Christmas
the
is
stuff up.
not about material things. It's not about
Come
on,
feeling your
Leah.
environment. It's about the love of Jesus Christ and knowing it's there.
And that's how you
And the
feel
elf
the
movie that you're about to turn on. That's where
We-
you
we
experience
decorate-
Jesus Christ with Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Okay.
Dressed as an elf.
We decorate, but we don't turn the lights on the tree until Christmas Eve.
The lights are like.
I know, but that's what makes it all of a sudden.
But that's
it's
what brings all the
magical.
joy is the lights.
Yeah, I'm more and more sympathetic to the like you shouldn't do that much during Advent, but I just don't want to steal that from my kids because I think it's just the whole Christmas thing. It's fun. It's neat.
Exactly.
All that stuff. And my wife will turn on the radio station that we can't say on air that does nothing but Christmas music starting in December, and it plays all the time. I love it. I'm sick of it. All right, anyway, we're not talking about Christmas. Would you rather?
Christmas is
Would you rather? Yes.
Wait, can I answer the question?
No.
Sure.
Yeah,
No. No.
Go ahead.
No.
Oh my gosh, is that the right time? Are we really already at 21 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
This has
That's
been
why
fun.
I said no.
Yeah.
I got to
We
remind
have a
everybody.
Who's the producer? I'm not in charge.
I have to remind everybody one person at a time. First of all, thank you. But yeah, so I would say movie marathon because I grew up putting up Christmas decorations the Saturday after Thanksgiving. and it was horrible. And when I would say, hey, I want to do that differently when I was a kid, you know what my parents would say? Well, that's going to be up to your spouse.
And your parents were so
you do whatever you
smart.
want. It's up to your spouse. So we put up Christmas decorations the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
That's tough. That's
Because
tough.
my spouse does what she wants, like her parents taught her.
Man, okay. Well, then we're gonna skip. We're gonna skip to another Would You Rather though. Then we're gonna do the dice game. So we can at least
I
get
do
to
the
it.
dice spell.
Oh, sorry,
What was supposed to
Rachel.
happen there?
You're supposed to catch it.
Oh, that's
Or not,
I
let's
do
go.
the
Go, go,
dice
go,
spell.
go,
It's
go.
laid down on the
Very
surface,
much.
though. Are we?
So this
do
is
we
the way
need
the
to get
dice
that
game
one?
works, right? You're gonna roll the dice, right? This is a Thanksgiving dice game. Super fun. Play this at your Friendsgiving party. If you get a 1, you name one person that you're thankful for in this room and why, and it can't be your spouse. If it's a 2, you name 2 things you don't want to live without. If you name 3, if you get 3, it's 3 books or movies that you love. 4 is tell us why you are thankful for God. All right. 5 is name 5 things you are thankful for, and it says you have to use your fingers to count, but I'm not going to hold that rule. I don't think that's necessary. We can count to 5 all by ourselves. And then if it's 6, you name 6 people that have influenced you positively, dead or alive. So start with you, Rachel. Roll, and I'll remind you of which is which.
Am I rolling 1 die?
You're rolling 1 die.
Oh, okay. I was like, how am I gonna get a 6 with 3 die? Okay.
3
Yeah,
twos.
you're gonna have to remind me.
6. 6 people who have positively influenced you, dead or alive.
Oh,
you don't have to
boy.
give an explanation.
Okay. My husband. I can say husband
Yeah,
for
you
that
can
one?
say husband.
My children. Can I count them as 1?
Sure.
Okay, I'll count my children as 1. My this couple that I knew growing up when I lived in Maryland.
Yeah.
Can I count them as 1 too?
Sure.
Because I just out of all the couples I've known in my life, like I still to this day, even when I was a child, value their dynamic and their family and
What,
still
shout out,
love
well,
them.
that couple that was at our wedding, what's their name? We will send it. We will
Jay
say
and Karen Konar.
There we
They
go.
live in Maryland.
Shout out. See, not everything in Maryland's bad.
No, plenty of things in Maryland are not bad.
Told you, Julian.
Who else? I would say both of my literature professors at Southern Catholic College.
Say their names.
Dr.
Urbanzik,
Dr. Aaron Urbanzik and Dr.
Cicero Bruce.
Cicero
I
was
did-
his name. I forgot.
Dude, such
Dr.
cool
Cicero
guys.
Bruce.
Yes.
They're like 2 of the smartest men that I know and taught me many things, even though I was probably a very challenging student. Who else?
Yes, one more.
Only 1?
Yeah.
I thought I
Oh, if
only
you're
did
counting the
4.
professors as
I guess.
Okay.
I don't have to, I guess. But
whatever you want.
okay. Janice.
Good choice.
That's a good one.
All right, Leah, what about you? Let's roll 'em.
quickly.
5.
5. What was 5?
Can you all roll smaller numbers, please? 5 things that you're thankful for.
Quickly.
5 things I'm thankful for.
fast.
College, my family, the military, my friends, and Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's good. All right, Jake, it's up to you. Let's see.
5.
5
I'm
things
sorry.
you're thankful for. Come on, Jake.
I'm thankful. Listen, I'm thankful for this potato. I'm thankful for the opportunity to come onto the podcast today. I'm also thankful. I'm thankful for my mother. Shout out to.
Always got to shout to mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to mom, Miss Ema Paget. Shout out to.
No pressure.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on the military thing. I love the military. That's a great thing. I have 2 more, right? 1 more.
Sure, one more.
1 more. Okay. I'm
You have
also thankful.
76 seconds.
76 seconds. I'm thankful for a wonderful life in God.
Great,
Yay,
great. All right,
good
I'm
job.
going. I'm going to get this done. No, it went on 1. Look at that. Not
It was
6.
1.
It was 1 the whole time. One person this is hard. One person you're thankful for in this room and why?
Oh, in this room.
Yeah, I'm going to give a big shout out to producer Julian. I'm thankful for producer Julian. I think he's a good man. I think he's a good father. I think he's a good husband. And he's a really good friend. And I value you. And I'm thankful for you, producer Julian.
Thank you. I'll throw my 1 to you too for the same reasons.
Thanks, brother.
Really?
He specifically said in the rules it cannot be
They're
your
no
spouse.
spouses.
He said
Oh,
no
you
spouse.
did. Okay, you get it.
And it doesn't say most thankful
But-
for. All right.
Okay, that's true. It's hard to compete with John Henry though.
I appreciate it. All right, guys, we are done. We've got 25 seconds before we are. This flew by. This was super
Yeah, that
fun,
was a
guys.
fast one.
Mostly talked about potatoes.
Yeah, let's go back after this and eat some more food and have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I really do encourage you, whatever your station in life is, invite some people over, break bread together. nurture good friendships with good people. All right, love all of you. Praying for you guys. Have a good Thanksgiving. This is Honest to God, a production of The Quest, Atlantis Catholic Radio. Producer Julian,
Signing off.
over and out.
Do, 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 do.